She's not what you'd expect. She's tough and feisty, but gentle and tender. She makes millions and gives millions to the poor. She cries, she laughs, she teaches, she comforts. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. Thanks so much for joining us today. Today we're going to get pretty granular. We're going to go very focused in a direction that is going to bring high value to you who work in the marketplace. Even if you don't work in the marketplace, but you work from home or your job is the home, we're going to uncover something really powerful today. There's been a revelation that I've been kind of marinating on recently. We're going to be talking about the one thing that could destroy your reputation, whether in business or in your personal life. Something I've been marinating on is this. As my husband and I were having, we talk, as you and your husband, if you have one, or you and your wife talk, or your friend or whatever, coworker. He and I were having a discussion, and we're just kind of looking at the market, the world, from a business perspective, from like 30,000 feet in the air. And what we were discussing was Amazon.com and how simple Amazon has made it to purchase things from them, as well as really who is being hurt because of Amazon's success. And it's not because of Amazon's success that they're being hurt. It's because they did not have the ability or foresight to see what was coming and didn't even realize that they should look in this one area. So I want to discuss with you today about where our culture is and what our culture is being trained for. The expectation that is rising in the air because of the success of just one business. Their influence is so powerful on the marketplace today. And today you're going to walk away with a strategy. You're going to walk away with a place of needing to find some skills if you don't already have them, and some tiny little adjustments that you can make to make sure that you don't end up out of business in the next 5 years, but instead riding this wave that Amazon.com has created for all of us inside of their wake. So what is it? Have you noticed that our culture today is incredibly frustrated? They are so hostile and so frustrated, so much so that we can even see all over the television. In fact, for more than a year now, we're seeing rioting, meaning consistently. Okay, there's always some kind of rioting happening now and again. And I don't know what country you're watching this from, because I know that the Dani Johnson Show goes all over the world. But I'm saying from the country that that we're doing the show from, in the United States of America, the marketplace has become incredibly frustrated, very hostile. We see it with people blocking their friends on Facebook because we don't have the same political views. We see it with riots that are happening. We're seeing it with young people who are insanely rebellious, and they're hurting, and they're mad, and they're angry. So in general, you see elderly people giving people the finger, on the highway or on the streets. I mean, that's pretty angry. You know what I mean? Like, typically you would imagine that the elderly would be a little bit more patient and understanding, but no, man, we are seeing just high levels. I think we're in a record time high of levels of anger and frustration and hostility that is in the air, that's in our culture. Now, maybe you live in a bubble, I don't know, but what I'm telling you from my perspective, and again, it's not that big of a perspective, I'm only one person, but just from what I'm studying, what I'm seeing, there's a lot of frustration out there, which means this, that either you can be a part of that frustration, or you can benefit from that frustration. You can actually grow a business greatly because of the frustration that is happening in the marketplace, which is exactly what Amazon.com has done. So, in fact, and let me read you this quote that my coworker Mary found. We see our customers, this is by Jeff Bezos, he's the founder of Amazon.com. We see our customers as invited guests to a party, and we are the hosts. It's our job every day to make every important aspect of the customer experience a little bit better. Now, this show is about success, right? This show is not about the status quo of success, but it's about you defining success for you. You picking your path. You not only picking that path, but defining where you want to go, who you want to be, how you want to represent yourself, both in the marketplace and in the home front, right? So is it, rather than coming into what the status quo, all the merchants and marketers have marketed to us as to be successful, it's the Rolls Royce, it's the private jet, it's the big house, it's the expensive jewelry, it's the expensive clothing, you know what I mean? It's expensive shoes, it's having all the name brands on the outside of your clothing somehow. It's having somebody expensive do your hair. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's all a facade. It's all just a giant facade that results in pressure and debt, toxic relationships, striving after things that you really don't want. And so, honestly, the marketers have done a really good job of marketing all of this stuff, which has created great frustration in people. People who have gone to school their whole lives and never knew how to have a proper relationship, how to honor and respect another human being, let alone how to train their kids how to have honor and respect. I could go on and on in that direction. But why are we talking about this thing about frustration in our society today? Because there's an opportunity. Because there's so much hostility, so much anger, and so much frustration, there's a great opportunity. And the businesses that are out there that have removed the frustration from the customer experience are the ones who are skyrocketing. But the businesses who have not relieved the customer from frustration, those are the businesses that are going out of business. They're going out of business fast. And in the next 5 years, my prediction is we're going to have a record time high of businesses going out of business. And we're also going to have a remnant, a small group of people that will recognize the giant trend that is taking place and be able to ride on that trend for the benefit first of the customer and second for the business. Because if you put your customer first, you will be in business. But today more than ever, because Amazon.com has changed the market for all of us. And I recently met with our team with this revelation that whatever the frustration is that we're causing to our clients and our customers, we will be out of business if we continue. And here's why. You see, in the past, businesses could handle it. It would be okay if you frustrated your customer a little bit because maybe you were the only one on the block that had that item. It could be okay that you put your policies and your procedures ahead of the customer because there wasn't too much competition for you in that particular arena. But that day has come where it has changed. Amazon.com, now 50% of American households are Amazon Prime users, which tells me that there's ever so many more of a percentage of American households that are actually using Amazon.com because Amazon Prime is their highest rated customer. Not everybody who uses Amazon.com is a Prime user. So that means that majority of the households just in the United States alone are using Amazon.com. Now, how does that change the game? Here's how. Amazon.com has done two things that are absolutely profound. Number one, they've made the customer experience so easy and pleasurable to do business with them. The navigation from their website, the ability for us to find things on that site that is simple. You can find just about anything it is that you want to find. That it's one click and I can purchase. That I don't have to type in my credit card and my address and all that again. In fact, they even keep for me past addresses of items that I've shipped because I actually use Amazon.com to buy all my grandkids their presents, right, for birthdays or whatever, various different gifts for various different people, but it has a list of all the addresses in there. So it's, again, I just push a button and that's the address. Otherwise, it's always the default address, my address, and my main credit card that I use to be able to make that purchase, or debit card that I use to make that purchase. So they've made it convenient. They've made it simple and they've made it fast. I'm going to say that again. They've made it convenient, they've made it simple, and they've made it fast. And that's now what the marketplace is used to. We are used to simple, convenient, and fast. Now, there's a second thing that they've done. On the flip side, their customer service. If you've ever had to send something back, or you got something that was broken, it's something that wasn't right, or you didn't receive your package, the way that they treat you when you call in is unbelievable. They treat you with the utmost amount of respect and honor. They don't accuse you of trying to cheat them. They don't have some stupid policy in play that just makes you even more frustrated. They actually just say, no problem, we're sending another one out to you right away. What? You're expecting to have to fight someone on the other end of that customer service line. But instead, what Amazon has done is they have removed all the frustration from the customer experience. And they've created a pleasurable experience for us to want to continue to go back to them. So let's dive deep into that. What kind of service are you presenting in the workplace today? Where you're like, well, Dani, I don't deal with the customer. Yes, you do. Your customer is your boss. In that case, if you're not dealing directly with the customer, you're not in direct customer acquisition, your boss is your customer. And so are your coworkers. And any place where you are bringing frustration is the place where you're going to be removed. So let me give you a prime example in this quick study. Walmart saw the writing on the wall. They saw that people were going over to Amazon.com. So they decided to create an online store. The biggest mistake that they made, though, is they took their in-store frustrations that they caused the customer, and you and I both have had all kinds of frustrations going to Walmart. We have. And they had those same exact frustrations on their website. Same exact frustrations in the store or online. So they had enough foresight to go, we need to have something that's online. The part they missed is simple, fast, and convenient. That's the part that they missed. So they're getting hit as a direct result of it. So here's my prediction. Any business that does not get rid of the frustrations that they're bringing on the customer is going to be out of business in the next 5 years. I don't care if that business is a vendor, business to business, or they deal directly with the consumer. Whatever frustrations that it is that they cause the end user, those frustrations will result in a failed business. I say the same as an employee. The employees that create frustrations inside the business, those employees are going to be looking for a different job. Our culture has become incredibly frustrated, incredibly hostile, angry. And if you don't answer those frustrations with peace, convenience, and simplicity, if you don't take the weight off of them, they're going to go somewhere else. And I'm telling you where they will go, Amazon.com. You will lose your market share because Amazon's going to get themselves involved in every part of this market. There's no question about it. No question about it. So the more policies that you create that create stumbling blocks for the customer, the more somebody else is going to get your market share. Let's start looking at business from a customer point of view. Therefore, not only will you win, but you will win big, as the market's been trained by Amazon, and that's what people are now expecting. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Is your business hurting itself? After the break, Dani has some questions to help you find out.
The whole story of how I went from homeless to millions is right here in this book, First Steps to Wealth. I'd love to give you a free copy of this book. Just dial 888-757-8880. You can get your free copy of this book. It's like a real book, my friend. You can get an ebook copy for free right now, or if you'd like to pay the shipping to get this $15 book to your house, I'd be happy to send it to you. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of First Steps to Wealth today and begin on a brand new path of some great success.
More resources, more training, more results. The DaniJohnson.com Insider Membership is your ultimate success shortcut. Get exclusive access to reports, videos, audios, ebooks, cheat sheets, and other training for your personal and professional life. This is truly DaniJohnson.com's best kept secret. Become an Insider member today and get on the fast track to success.
Imagine living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel made of waste material on top of old mining tunnels that could explode and sink your home at any moment. Imagine no water to drink, no safe place to raise your children, no food for your starving baby. Imagine that your kids can't learn to read because they have to work to support the family instead of going to school. Could you imagine living in that kind of fear and hopelessness? This is exactly what families are dealing with in the poverty-stricken village of Santa Pancha, Nicaragua. These families can barely meet their basic food, water, and housing needs. We are transforming that village. Be a part of this miracle. I want you to go to the website now and learn how you can help. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha. There you can join with other warriors against poverty and help bring a miraculous transformation to Santa Pancha. That's kingsransom.org. kingsransom.org.
Did you know you can take the Dani Johnson Show with you wherever you go? It's never been easier to stay up to date with the latest content from Dani with the DaniJohnson.com app. Watch or listen in the car, at the gym, or on the go. Download it now from the App Store and Google Play and never miss a show again. Your family, business, and bank account will thank you.
This is your chance. This is your shot. Get your copy of War on Debt right now. There's one waiting for you that has your family's name on it. And inside that package is freedom. Your family's freedom is on the inside of that package. All you have to do is open it up, press play, and start applying what I teach you in this program. 888-757-8880. You and I are going to help your family become completely debt-free in the next 5 to 7 years. Just imagine how that's going to feel.
This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Dani, bottom line is I need these policies to be in place regardless if it frustrates the customer or not. That really doesn't matter. What's more important is that I run this thing more smooth and that the customer just has to deal with it. Buddy, you might as well start declaring bankruptcy now because you got the wrong side. You got the wrong point of view. Bottom line is if we give the best possible service and attention to our clients, they're going to continue to do business with you. And bottom line is every day that they experience you, your product, your service, every day that they experience your policies is either going to put a referral in their mouth when they hang up the phone from you. They're either getting on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram and they're bragging about you, or they're saying, I am so frustrated. We've all seen the posts of people frustrated with the customer service that they've had with a company. So here's what we've done. We actually put a question out on Facebook asking our viewers of the Dani Johnson Show and our community there on Facebook, what is their pet peeve in dealing with a customer? What frustration do they deal with in dealing with another business? And so this is going to be a really important learning experience because whether you have a business yourself or you work inside of a company or your home, okay? Because your home is your business. And either you're causing frustration to the head of the household and or to the president of the household, okay? To me, it's like Hans is the CEO and I'm the president. We are co-founders of that business, of that family business. Not, an actual business, but that to me is a business. If I'm causing frustration to the CEO, I'm not helping the overall success of this family. And if he's doing the same, he's not helping the overall success of the family. So you apply it to what applies to you, okay, is what I'm saying. All right, so we're going over to Dana Gayer from Arizona. So, girlfriend, tell me what frustrates you in dealing with other businesses. Just give me one example.
First off, thanks for taking my call.
Yeah.
I've had an incident where I love to social network with people, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, whatnot. Mm-hmm. And I met an individual who has a business through my gym. Mm-hmm. And shortly thereafter, maybe 3-4 months of just, he was a contact on my Facebook. All of a sudden now I'm getting emails to my personal Gmail account from his business. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, I never signed up for this.
Yep.
And then last week, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, I actually started receiving phone calls from their business.
Wow.
And it's very disrespectful to me that if you make a contact with someone, that's fine to network with them, but you take my information from somewhere and to start contacting me and putting me on your, I'm going to call it a spam list. I'm sorry, that is extremely disrespectful, and I have no intention of using that business.
That's so awesome. I hope whoever's listening, they're writing that one down. That's important. And you know what else is every time that we unsubscribe from a website, and yet 3-6 months down the road, you're getting emails from them again. You didn't purchase again, but you're getting emails again. I've got somebody that for 5 years, I unsubscribed from their website 5 years ago. And I'm now every year, okay, so it'll be like a year, and I don't get an email from them. And then it's always like, bam. Right at the year mark, here it comes again. And I feel the same way. I get frustrated when PayPal won't leave me alone. I have unsubscribed so many times from them, and yet they keep emailing me. They won't stop talking to me. And that's what I say. Stop talking to me.
Right.
We all get too much email. So yeah, okay, so in your case, so you meet a contact and that person automatically puts you into their funnel, their spam funnel. Yeah, that's incredibly frustrating. And it doesn't make you, and you know what they're thinking? They're thinking that now you're going to be in their funnel funnel, and now you'll end up buying or taking advantage of whatever services they have. Now look at how you're really thinking. I love this.
Exactly.
I hope that person's listening to the show right now, because what the real effect that's happening is now I completely don't want to do anything with your business. Now you have frustrated me. Now you've shown yourself to be a user instead of someone actually really engaged in a relationship. See you later, buddy.
Right.
Goodbye.
That's right.
And you know what that person is doing? This part cracks me up all the time. I see this all the time, Dana. It just cracks me up. Those would be the people that would come to me in a business setting, at a First Steps to Success or whatever, asking a question here on the show, go, I just don't know what's wrong. I just can't find good customers. My business is not working. They're blaming the business, or they're blaming the market, or they're blaming the president, not even looking at what am I personally doing that is being perceived as dishonorable, or what am I personally doing that is frustrating my customer, and that's why they're not coming to me to do business.
It's true, and that's one of my biggest takeaways that I had when I attended a First Steps to Success, was that it is about relationships. It is not about whatever it is you're selling.
That's right.
That's the biggest thing I took away, knowing that I had a plan to build a business of my own someday, somewhere.
Yep.
And I was like, wow, relationships are everything.
It is everything, and you're showing the example right here, right now, right? That somebody baited and switched you. They baited and switched you, and now you feel used. And if the customer feels used, they are not going to participate in whatever it is that you're marketing and selling. Man, thank you so much, Dana. That is so
You're
helpful.
welcome. Thank you.
All right. This is Dani Johnson. We're going to continue more. We're going to continue to look at what the market is doing, what they want, what they expect, and how you can meet it so you can raise your business. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more after this.
This is the Dani Johnson Show.
But I'm so blessed that I found what is in Grooming the Next Generation for Success. This is a book that is being taught in universities around the world. It's been noted as the best book on parenting that has ever been written. Crazy, if you ask me. But the point is that this thing gets results. Get your copy today, 888-757-8880. Again, that's 888-757-8880. Or go to DaniJohnson.com. That's D-A-N-I Johnson.com. Get your copy today.
Did you know you can see Dani Johnson live and in person? Go to DaniJohnson.com and find out about our next live event. First Steps to Success. Register today. Call 866-760-8255 or go to DaniJohnson.com/FSTS.
Prior to getting to Dani Johnson's First Steps to Success, my husband and I were completely broke. We just filed bankruptcy. We lost our home to foreclosure, and we were on food stamps. After the second day of her event, we figured out where all our money was going. We got ourselves out of debt in 3 months. We paid off $18,000 worth of debt and are completely debt-free. And now we've finally created a life of our dreams. We've made a six-figure business, and we're just doing everything that we want. So if you're thinking about coming to First Steps to Success, you've got to make it happen. Sign up right now and make sure you don't miss it.
Prior to plugging into DaniJohnson.com, I was hopelessly lost in addiction. My relationships with people, coworkers, family, friends failed. I was struggling under the bondage of debt, and I had no clear vision or purpose for my life. After taking my first steps to success, I've been able to pay off $7,000 in debt in about 4.5 months. I have a clear vision and purpose for my life. I can honestly say that my addictions are a thing of the past. If you're interested in changing your life in whatever way, in whatever area, you need to log into DaniJohnson.com, and you need to be at the next First Steps to Success.
Prior to coming to First Steps, I was miserable. I never talked to people because I thought I was shy, I thought I was boring, and I thought that I was destined to be alone forever. After coming to First Steps to Success, I broke through all of those lies. I built confidence, and I used the skills that I've learned there to get myself an amazing job where I will be put quickly into a position of leadership. So if you're ready to find out who you are, why you are the way you are, and how to get new skills to dramatically change your life, you need to join me at the very next First Steps to Success. No excuses, no delays, get registered now.
Hi, my name is Paul. I'm from Massachusetts, and before plugging into DaniJohnson.com, I was buried under a sea of self-doubt, fear, and my communication skills were non-existent. Sales non-existent as well. But after attending First Steps to Success, my sales have quadrupled, my fear has been lifted, and my relationships are better than ever because I communicate better than ever. If you want your life to turn around, all your dreams start coming to fruition, you are going to be at First Steps to Success.
Prior to plugging in to Dani Johnson, my husband and I were drowning in a sea of debt. I had broken relationships all around me of the ones that I cared most about, and I had started a company that was losing more money than it was making. And after plugging into Dani Johnson, we have paid off $196,000 in 13 months. My company has grown 90%, and I have relationships that I could never have even imagined with the ones I care most about around me. So I don't know about you. Maybe you're making all the money you need to. Maybe you're doing great. Maybe your relationships are phenomenal. But if they're not, I encourage you to get to the next first steps to success.
Helping you become all you were meant to be. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Dani, I can't help it. Our company policies are frustrating to customers, but it's not my job. I'm not in customer service. When you're working for a company, everyone is in customer service. Every single person, all hands on deck. If the mindset is, it's not my job, it's that department's, well, this is one of those, what I would call a log in the way of the stream from flowing. There's a stream of profits that can turn into a river of profits. But the things that stop it are first little twigs, little tiny frustrations, little pieces of leaves that have fallen from last year. Do you understand? Residue, sediment that's built up, and the little pieces of twigs are falling from the trees, and then sometimes an entire tree falls down, and that stops the flow, the river of profits from flowing. And so what's important that if you want to succeed in today's, especially when we have Amazon.com, companies like that who have already trained the marketplace to have a high expectation of a great customer service experience. Amazon.com, who has created the culture, in the business culture, okay, people doing business with them. If you do business with them now, every other business that you do business with is compared to Amazon. So as when you're doing business with Amazon and it's simple, it's convenient, and it's fast. Okay? Simple, convenient, and fast. And then if there is a problem, they solve it with no questions asked. They solve it with complete honor, and they follow up with you. And they're not sending me unending emails that I haven't asked for. They're not trying to sell me something else. The only emails I get from them is when I've placed my order and when it's on its way to let me know it's on its way. So they're following up with me in that kind of a sequence. Even when I've had a customer service experience with them, the person follows up with me to make sure that it was handled right. Like this now, the marketplace, at least half of the households in America alone have been trained to expect that level of service. So when you give problems as service, you're going to go out of business. It's real simple. I predict it right now. You will be out of business. I don't even have to be smart to predict something like that. I'm not your prophet. I'm not a guru. I'm not a psychic, but it's really easy and simple to see. Forget it, I'm not going to go there. But we've asked our friends and family members on Facebook, our community, tell us what drives you crazy in dealing with businesses and why, so that we can learn together. I promise you, our team is taking notes right now because we want to make sure that we're not frustrating people. I recently met with our team and said, listen, I want you to make a list of every single thing that we do that frustrates the customer. Because whatever those policies are, they got to go away. And oftentimes, policies are made for the 0.10% of a problem. So an entire policy is made which ends up messing up everybody else's customer experience, all for the 0.1, the 1 in 1,000 scenario that comes up, a policy is made. And that has happened inside of our business. We're taking down every single one of those suckers because we do not want to create frustration. We want to honor our clients. We want to be advocates for our clients, not advocates first for ourselves. So here we've got Paul Graber from Indiana. Paul, tell me, what is like a big frustrating point in dealing with another business that you've had?
Hi, Dani. Thanks for having me on the show. This is a rather isolated incident. In other words, I'm not aware that it's happened very much, but it was such a shocker and a reality check for me that I think it's a good thing to share it last year, I was calling on a business to be a potential vendor to supply a product that they use on a regular basis anyway. And this was the second time I'd knocked on their door, and I walked in, and there was a different lady at the reception desk than what I'd talked to the first visit. Okay, and this was like close to lunchtime or right on lunchtime, and she said, "Well, so and so, whoever you need to talk with, is out for lunch. He'll be back at 2."
Oh my gosh, that is so frustrating.
I go, no problem. I went and did what I needed to do, and I came back just shortly after 2 o'clock. And now the original girl that I talked with a month earlier is behind the desk.
Okay.
And she says, "Oh, he's not in today."
Oh my gosh.
Okay. It just hit me how transparent we really are.
Oh, wow.
Now, I don't know who was lying, but I know somebody was.
Yep.
And I also know that I never will go back to that business again for anything.
Yep. Wow.
It just reminded me that we really are transparent. And like my mom always told me, if we always tell the truth, we don't have to remember what we said.
That's right. Okay, but Paul, let's go here, okay? Because I actually want to dissect this. In the first scenario, right, he gets back after 2. If this was the utmost amount of honor and respect for the client or even the prospect, because that's what you are right there. You were a prospect, a prospective customer. How should that receptionist have handled that?
Wow. It seems like...
Meaning if you were the business owner and you found out about just the first scenario where she says, he's not here, he gets back at 2. What would you do for that prospect? Let me give you an idea. This is what I would be telling my staff. Absolutely.
Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
What I'd be telling my staff is this, that if that scenario happens, that if in fact Joe is not here and he is out to lunch, the last thing in the world I want is to frustrate that customer and tell that customer to come back in an hour. Oh my gosh, how many times has that happened to all of us? And that just is so frustrating, right? So my answer would be to put you in touch with somebody else. Put you in touch, at least engaging the conversation, getting down some of the information, apologizing profusely, getting your phone number and saying, I'm going to call you back as soon as he's in, or let me see who else I can put you in touch with so at least some of your questions can be answered. And if you prefer still working with Joe, he'll be back at 2, but you're here now. Let's just get whatever questions it is or whatever help it is that you need. Let's get it dealt with right now. It's more important. Now, see, watch. Oftentimes, there's salespeople involved in scenarios like that, especially dealing with vendors, right? So
that's what I was.
Exactly.
That was the situation.
Exactly. So then what it is, so why did they keep you with him? Because they wanted to protect his commission. That's not what's best for the customer. What's best for the customer is to serve that customer and not frustrate that customer by telling him to come back in an hour. How many times have we called someplace and they told us to call back in an hour? Drives me crazy. But instead it should be, sir, how can I help you? What did you need to talk to Joe about? Well, I need to talk to him. Okay, you know what? Bob is in. Let me just connect you with Bob. He can at least get those questions answered so that you did not make a trip all the way over here for nothing. That would be, again, that's being an advocate for the customer instead of an advocate for themselves. Bottom line is that if you were treated like that, how would you have felt versus the way you were treated?
Yeah.
You would feel good about that vendor. You'd feel good about that business.
Right.
You'd feel like your needs were being met. So that then results in business happening versus coming back then an hour, finding out that someone lied. Now you'll never do business with them again. And again, I promise you, it's that business that's knocking their head up against the wall going, how come we're not growing? We need some new strategy. Yeah, how about honoring your customer? Anyway, thank you, Paul. All right, next we got Jennifer Martineau from Michigan. Jennifer, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks, Dani.
Okay, this is our time to just really, I can't say that word, but blank and complain. But we're learning from it. Oh, man, I'm so frustrated just on Paul's behalf. Okay, yes, go ahead, Jennifer. Yes. Just frustrate me some more.
Well, my biggest pet peeve is when people don't train their staff on customer service, because I worked for a retail department store, and obviously you get lots of teenagers in there, but nobody's taking time to train them on how to treat the shoppers in all different scenarios.
Yep, because I have a question for you, Jennifer. Were you ever a teenager?
Yes.
Could you be trained with good customer service?
Yes.
Of course!
And my first job, they did train me with good customer service. So I started out as a 16-year-old working in retail and got it.
Yep. And you probably had some success because of it.
Yeah, almost every job I've had has had some form of customer service involved in it.
Yep. Okay, so tell me what do you mean from the customer standpoint? How does that frustrate you when you encounter a teenager who is untrained?
Because I know that they could have been trained, because I did customer service management at the store.
But I'm not talking about from the internal. You're viewing it from the internal. I'm talking about your actual customer experience. That's what I'm talking about.
Yep. So basically the teen, this one that stuck out the worst for me, they didn't provide any eye contact. There was no greeting. There's no, how can I help you?
So how did it make you feel? How did it make you feel?
Like they did not care that I was there and there to spend my money on their product.
Yep. So when you don't feel like you're cared for and all they want you for is their money, what now reputation do you have of that product and that business?
I could care less if I went back to them.
That's right. Because if people treat you like you don't matter, well, then fine. Yeah. I'm not going to do business with you.
Nope.
Yep. Bottom line. Here's the other part. I totally agree, Jennifer. Thank you so much for bringing that comment. So important. Bottom line, friend, here's the deal. We either are causing our customer to rave about us or we're putting bad advertising in their mouth, one or the other, based on how the teenager says hello and has eye contact. Rethink your training program. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more after this.
What can Dani's electric toothbrush teach you about growing your business? It might surprise you.
Hi, I'm Dani Johnson. The most common question I get usually are from people who are trying to juggle their life. They've got kids who are involved in all kinds of activities. They've got business or their job, finances, trying to get out of debt, plus all their church activities and all the volunteer activities. And they're pulling their hair out going, how do I juggle this all? Man, I once lived just like that until I learned Time Secrets. Time Secrets showed me how to be able to cut my hours from 100 hours a week that I was working down to 20 hours a week and tripled my income as a direct result with what I learned. Time Secrets also showed me how to get my priorities in order, which healed up my marriage. And I became a mother that I was proud of versus becoming the mother I didn't want to be. And so if you feel like your world is running around in all kinds of different circles, you can fix that. Call 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880 for Time Secrets.
Did you know you can see Dani Johnson live and in person? Go to DaniJohnson.com and find out about our next live event. First Steps to Success. Register today. Call 866-760-8255 or go to DaniJohnson.com/FSTS.
Prior to getting started with DaniJohnson.com and First Steps to Success, we were spending absolutely every dime that we made. We were really struggling financially. Since plugging in to First Steps to Success just 4 months ago, we started a brand new business that is doing very, very well. We've paid off $4,500 in debt, but the most important thing is my relationship with my husband has improved like dramatically. I mean, we have so much more fun together. You know, I don't know about you, maybe your finances, you're doing great, maybe you're debt-free, maybe Maybe your relationships with your spouse, with your family are great. But if not, if you have some areas in your life that feel a little out of control or there's things that you need to work on, I highly recommend getting to First Steps to Success as soon as you can.
Prior to being dragged out to First Steps to Success, I was hopeless. I had no point to life. It was a day-to-day existence, working a job I despised for people I didn't respect. Deeper and deeper debt every year. You just couldn't get on top of it. I just had no hopes or dreams, none at all, and there was no point to life. But since coming out, we paid off $280,000 worth of debt, married the woman of my dreams. I came to love my job and the people I work for. I have all kinds of hopes and dreams. I get to watch them happen every day. I don't know what your life is like, you know. There's probably tons of hope. You probably know why you live and you got places you're going, but if you don't, you need to sign up for First Steps to Success. You go to DaniJohnson.com and you click on it and be here, because your life will not be the same if you do.
Prior to First Steps to Success, I was drowning in debt, I was terrified of my bills, and I wanted to travel, but I never had the money. And since coming to First Steps to Success, in the last 14 months, I've paid off over $18,000 in debt. I've gone on 6 vacations, and I'm not terrified of my bills anymore. So if you want to learn some proven strategies to really learn how to connect with people, take your life to the next level, all while having a total blast, you need to get registered for the next First Steps to Success today.
Prior to coming to First Step to Success, we were totally struggling, totally under the weight of $640,000 worth of debt, making $20,000 a month, but living paycheck to paycheck. So when we came here, and I realized that it takes a totally different skill set to keep money, to create wealth, than it is to make money. I have totally turned around our lifestyle. We have paid off $640,000 worth of debt in 2 years. We are debt-free as of June of 2013. I don't know where you're at. You might have all your finances in order. You might have a wonderful life. Your marriage might be all perfect and your kids are behaving. But if not, if one of those things is lacking, you gotta get here. Book your next event. You need to be here. You will not regret it.
And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
Dani, people are frustrated. There's nothing I can do about it. Yes, there is something you can do about it. If you want to have success in the marketplace, especially today, and I'm telling you, I'm warning you right now. Like, who are you to warn me? You will be out of business and out of a job in the next 5 years if you do not look at the writing that's on the wall. The marketplace now expects, over 50% of the households now expect simple, convenient, and fast service. They now expect to be valued, to be treated as a guest. 50% of our marketplace, that is what they're expecting. So look at this. This past Christmas, JCPenney's, Macy's, Walmart got hit so far. The major retailers that normally thrive, they normally have majority of their business come in at the end of the year. It did not happen to them. And guess what they're blaming? The internet. It's not the internet's fault. It is your policies and your lack of good services fault. It's because of the frustration that you create for the customer. The customer has now gone to a different place where they have less frustration, where it's pleasurable to do business with them. That's where they're going. Why? They're frustrated as a whole. And whoever answers that frustration with peace, whoever makes it simple, convenient, and fast for them, this is what they're going to go to. And now they expect that. And if your business doesn't rise to the challenge, if you do not get your staff trained to have awesome, honorable service, to know how to deal with people, if your customer service department or any department in your company and any of your policies are frustrating to the end user, guess what? You're going to be out of business. You will, because people are going to where their frustration is being relieved, not intensified. I'm going to give you a prime example. I use an electric toothbrush, right? Braun or whatever, okay? And it was time to change the heads. I look in my cabinet, they're all gone. So I write down on a piece of paper go to Walmart, get toothbrush heads, right? Because that's the only place that carries them in the little town that I'm in. So I go that. Do you know, a week, 2 weeks goes by, I still haven't gotten those. Why? Because I went through in my head, okay, so I'm going to go to Walmart. I'm going to attempt to find a place to park. That's always fun. Then I'm going to walk in and get myself oriented to this giant zoo of a place. Not to mention dodging carts of this person and that person because the place is packed. I find where the toothbrush heads are. Then I'm going to go stand in line for 20 minutes because they don't ever have enough checkers, right? And now the self-check is totally overloaded with too many people. So I'm waiting as that slow checker. Wink, 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 wink. Little beep, beep, slow, beep. No eye contact, no engagement, just silent beep. Beep. You could have a robot there. A robot would do a better job than that person, right? So there it is, slowly. I need help on check stand 10. Ugh. Right? All for toothbrush heads. Yeah, all for toothbrush heads because I don't shop at Walmart. I shop at my grocery store. My grocery store doesn't have them, right? So here it is, 2 weeks go by, and then I go, Number one, I don't want to take that time. Number two, dealing with that place is frustrating. So, does Amazon carry toothbrush heads? Bam! It wasn't even 60 seconds, and the order was done. I didn't have to deal with anybody. I didn't have to deal with bad customer service. I didn't have to deal with someone slow. I didn't have to deal with any of that stuff. So that's what I'm saying. If you're not training your people to customize an experience for the customer, you are not going to grow, let alone keep the business that you already have. So how do you extend your tent pegs? If that customer had a great experience, social media is where they go. They start telling people about it. They're shocked about it. They had a great experience, so they tell people about it. We asked the question on Facebook, what frustrates you in dealing with people, dealing with businesses? With businesses. Wendy Tozzi from California, a state where there's a lot of frustration in the air right now. Wendy, are you muted? I really want to hear what you have to say. I think she's not muted on our end. Hi, Wendy. Wendy, you've muted yourself somehow, or it's not connecting somehow for some reason. I'm going to put you on hold. Now I'm going to open you back up. Hi, Wendy. No, Wendy. Wendy's not there. Okay, so we're going to wait for that to be worked out and figured out. Wendy, can you call back in, or we're going to try to mess with your line. Raven is going to see if she can open up your line. We'll do that. Okay, so listen up. I had a discussion with my general manager, and here's what happened. I said to him, so if a customer calls in and they let's say you go to Walmart, right? And you bought something, it's broken, now you have to take it back, and they give you a refund. Are you still frustrated? The answer is yes. You are still frustrated, right? Because the item was broken and it took all your time. It took all the time, first of all, the first frustration to get the item. And then you have to drive home only to try to take it, to put it together. It doesn't work. Then you have to drive all the way back and do this. So the refund itself is not good enough. So something that we have now set the bar inside of our company is beyond the refund, beyond the policy. But if we don't take the frustration and flip it into a wow, where they are shocked, surprised, elated, now we've done our job. Because Walmart gives a refund, but that doesn't take the frustration away. But we've got to do something more than just answering the problem. We got to go the extra mile in answering the problem to where if the customer walks away with, all right, well, I got my problem solved, we failed. But if we cause that customer to walk away and go, wow, that was awesome and unexpected, now that's how you grow. Why? How do you expand your tent pegs? Because now that customer's going to go tell people about what wowed them. Now they're telling others. That is expanding. That's how you go to growth, is by taking that one customer and that customer going telling other people willingly, shockingly, braggingly about you on all their social media places, through email, through text, through their neighbor, whoever it is they're talking to, that if you don't wow the customer, they're not going to talk about it. Therefore, your business just stays the same. But those customers having a wow experience with you, now that is taking it beyond. So turn the frustration into a wow. Don't just solve the frustration. Turn the frustration into a wow. We got Wendy now. Wendy. Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Dani.
Yay, we got you. So share your experience. What frustrates you in dealing with other businesses?
what frustrates me the most is when I go to call a contractor or another agent and it goes to voicemail. I don't get a call back after leaving a message. Communication is the key to success. I believe that if you answer your phone, then, you got a new client. If you don't, I'm going on to the next
someone else.
Phone number.
Seriously, I recently just had the same exact thing happen. In fact, it led me to two things. I was looking for a particular vendor for something. I call, no answer, voicemail. Second one, third, fourth, 4 people. All voicemails. No one answered their phone. I was like, this is a tiny little town. There are only 4 businesses that do this, and none of them have answered their phone? You gotta be
crazy, right?
If just one of them answers their phone, they're going to be the leader in the whole county. If they just answer the phone.
Amen, sister.
Oh my gosh, that's so true. Which caused me to then change our policy internally because our phones used to go straight through this voicemail tree, which I don't know why or whoever created that system. But it frustrates me when I call a business and I don't get a live person. I called Walgreens.
Yes.
I didn't get a live person. I called CVS. I got a live person. I'm like, thank you for answering the phone. Literally, that's how I dealt with it. Thank you so much. I'm thanking people for answering the phone. Why? Because all these businesses are now gone to voicemail, which creates frustration for people. So now when you call our office, phone rings once, you get an answer. If it goes to the second one, it's a second person. Third one, it'll go to our accounting department. It'll go to our IT department. It's going to go to some live person, whether they can answer the question or not. Someone's going to answer that phone.
That's awesome. I have a small property management company I started about 8 years ago. I have a 0% vacancy factor. Why? Because I answer
the phone. I love you, Wendy. Good job. Yes. This is awesome.
Yes. Answer your phone.
Yes, and you will have greater success. This is Dani Johnson. We will continue with more right after this.
What multimillionaire do you know that volunteers their time to help ordinary people like you and me? There's only one. Stay right here for more of The Dani Johnson Show.
The whole story of how I went from homeless to millions is right here in this book, First Steps to Wealth. I'd love to give you a free copy of this book. Just dial 888-757-8880. You can get your free copy of this book. It's like a real book, my friend. You can get an ebook copy for free right now, or if you'd like to pay the shipping to get this $15 book to your house, I'd be happy to send it to you. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of First Steps to Wealth today and begin on a brand new path of some great success. You want to succeed, right? But you do not want to fail God at the same time. There is a way to succeed from a biblical perspective, and it's far greater than anything you could ever imagine. Over 500 scriptures I studied to study money, everything that the Bible said about money. That's in the first couple chapters of Spirit-Driven Success. Not to mention leadership, working with people, growing a career, being used mightily in the marketplace, which is where Abraham, God used him in the marketplace. And Joseph, God used him in the marketplace. Moses, God used him in the marketplace. Daniel, Solomon, really all of the greats of faith, most of the greats of faith throughout the Bible, they all were in the marketplace, and God wants to show you how you can be used mightily by him in the marketplace. Right here, Spirit-Driven Success is where all of my notes are on how you can do that. 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880. Get your copy of Spirit-Driven Success today. Imagine living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel made of waste material on top of old mining tunnels that could explode and sink your home at any moment. Imagine no water to drink, no safe place to raise your children, no food for your starving baby. Imagine that your kids can't learn to read because they have to work to support the family instead of going to school. Could you imagine living in that kind of fear and hopelessness? This is exactly what families are dealing with in the poverty-stricken village of Santa Pancha, Nicaragua. These families can barely meet their basic food, water, and housing needs. We are transforming that village. Be a part of this miracle. I want you to go to the website now and learn how you can help. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha. There you can join with other warriors against poverty and help bring a miraculous transformation to Santa Pancha. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org.
More resources, more training, more results. The DaniJohnson.com Insider Membership is your ultimate success shortcut. Get exclusive access to reports, videos, audios, ebooks, cheat sheets, and other training for your personal and professional life. This is truly DaniJohnson.com's best kept secret. Become an Insider member today and get on the fast track to success.
This is your chance. This is your shot. Get your copy of War on Debt right now. There's one waiting for you that has your family's name on it. And inside that package is freedom. Your family's freedom is on the inside of that package. All you have to do is open it up, press play, and start applying what I teach you in this program. 888-757-8880. You and I are going to help your family become completely debt-free in the next 5 to 7 years. Just imagine how that's going to feel.
This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Well, take a deep breath. But I know this. I know you might be frustrated right now in sharing the frustrations of the precious people who called in to share what their business frustrations were and dealing with other companies. Simple little things. It really is simple, tiny little things that can change the course of your business to great success or change it to driving it into bankruptcy. Something as simple as answer the phone. I guarantee you the 4 businesses that I called, they all are struggling. They all are struggling. They all are struggling. And it is as simple as pick up the phone, especially in today's world. We got Google, man. We Google the next business, okay? So number one, if you're not the top of the list of Google, you're in trouble, okay? Number 2, if you don't answer your phone, I'm going to your next competitor. You're forcing the customer to go to your competitors simply by not answering the phone. Those are simple things, simple little things. Not having an answer when somebody's out to lunch. Yep. Instead, they're not here, okay? There are so many simple things that we can do. Yeah, taking the time to train the salespeople, taking the time to train the customer service people. It's just so important to do these things. I know that today was helpful for you. Please share this with somebody else. Listen, at the beginning of this year, something stirred inside of me, and it was this. I want to do everything I possibly can to create jobs in the marketplace this year. I'm going to do everything I can. Rather than retiring, rather than sucking on my tie on my favorite beach in Bora Bora, I want to do everything I can to create jobs this year. Now, you might be asking, well, how do you create jobs? 2 things, real simple. How are jobs created? Number 1, help an existing business grow. They have to hire people in order to grow. That's how businesses grow. You can't grow on your same amount of people. What you can do is what you got. Now, yes, you can train them. You can increase your sales a little bit. But as far as all out explosive growth, you need to hire more people. So that creates jobs. Number 2, help people start businesses. This also creates jobs. So I'm on a mission this year to help companies grow and to help people start businesses. We're going to create jobs like that and get our country working again instead of waiting for the government to create systems or processes or whatever that they can't seem to manage or get right. Let's get some training for companies to grow, small businesses, mom and pop shops, sole proprietorships, get them to grow, and let's help some start some businesses. And that's how we're going to see our economy change. Absolutely, without a doubt. So today's show was about that. Use what you heard in today's program, but do more importantly, share this with someone else. Freely you received this information. Freely you received it. Now freely pass it on to others. Let's save jobs because there are businesses that are going to be going out of business left and right. They're going to be dropping like flies simply because they have missed the trend that is an expectation of great service, convenient, simple, and fast, and being treated like an honorable guest when the phone call happens, okay? We have to get this message out to everybody, so please share it through email, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Okay, and by the way, come and enjoy this community that is on all of those social media platforms. Dani Johnson Live, D-A-N-I Johnson Live. God bless you. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
Did you hear that last segment? Do you know someone else who needs to hear it? Go to DaniJohnson.com, find today's show, and share it online. This has been the Dani Johnson Show. If you want to hear more, visit us at DaniJohnson.com.